BTS News Today. Seoul's crisp autumn air carried a quiet tension around the gates of HYBE's headquarters this week. Normally, the line of black SUVs and the steady rhythm of bodyguards pacing near the glass facade are routine sights for anyone who has ever waited outside the towering building. But this week, something changed, and fans noticed it instantly. When Park Jimin, one of BTS's most beloved members, arrived for what appeared to be a simple internal meeting, the energy was completely different. The usual 2 or 3 security guards who accompany him had been replaced by a visibly larger, more structured team. They moved in a synchronized formation, black suits, earpieces, tinted vehicles, and a deliberate manner that reminded reporters of presidential protection detail rather than the standard K-pop escort. Within minutes, social media erupted. "Why does Jimin suddenly have double the security?" one ARMY fan account tweeted. "Something's going on." Within an hour, the hashtags #JiminSecurity and #HYBProtectsJimin were trending worldwide. Videos captured by fans showed the scene from multiple angles. The doors opening, Jimin stepping out in a black cap and beige coat, and the immediate ring of guards who shielded him from all sides. It wasn't aggression, it was precision. And that precision sparked curiosity, even alarm. The sudden escalation for an artist who has always balanced accessibility and privacy. Jimin's new security measures represented a drastic shift. Sources within the entertainment industry began whispering about a new internal protocol launched quietly by HYB, one that specifically targeted high-risk visibility members. While it's normal for idols to receive extra security during international travel or high-profile events, this increase in protection during local schedules raised questions. "He used to come and go quite comfortably," said a journalist from Dispatch who requested anonymity. But this week, the number of personnel was noticeably higher. It wasn't just for show. There were plainclothes agents coordinating routes. It felt like something had changed behind the scenes. Rumors swirled. Was there a new threat? Was Jimin preparing for a secret project? Or did something happen recently that HYB didn't want to make public? The company response, and the silence behind it. HYB, known for its typically cautious media communication, released a short, almost sterile statement when contacted by Korean outlets. "Security measures for our artists are periodically reviewed and adjusted based on situational assessments," the company wrote. "We appreciate the public's understanding that our priority is the safety and well-being of all artists." No mention of Jimin. No explanation of what prompted the sudden change. But within BTS's own fan base, speculation became a kind of collective investigation. Online forums analyzed every clip, every photo, every movement of Jimin's recent outings, from the way his car door was opened to the precise formation of his bodyguards at Incheon Airport a few days later. Behind the scenes, a quiet trigger according to several industry insiders. The move wasn't entirely unprovoked. One senior official in a Seoul-based entertainment security agency, who has previously worked with multiple major K-pop acts, confirmed that HYB recently conducted an internal review after a concerning breach involving one of its artists earlier this month. The source did not specify which artist, but the timeline coincides with an incident where a private schedule reportedly leaked online hours before a BTS member was due to appear at a recording studio in Gangnam. Fans quickly connected the dots. "There were too many coincidences," said one ARMY moderator who manages a large international fan base. Jimin's schedule is usually very discreet. For him to suddenly be surrounded by such a visible layer of protection means something happened, something serious enough for HYB to react. Even more curious, multiple sightings suggested that Jimin's car routes had been altered, a typical measure when an artist's movement patterns are compromised. The quiet, almost invisible change in logistics became public only because fans were vigilant enough to notice the shifting details. Jimin's calm amid the noise. Ironically, Jimin himself appeared completely unaffected. His demeanor remained the same, soft-spoken, warm, even smiling when caught on camera despite the wall of black suits around him. When he appeared at Gimpo Airport for an unannounced schedule, fans expected him to keep his head down, but instead, he waved. He looked peaceful, one fan told Yonhap Entertainment. Like he knew everyone was worried, but he wanted to tell us not to be. That small gesture, just a wave, became a reassurance, yet also deepened the mystery. If Jimin wasn't anxious, why the sudden boost in security? Comparative context. Jungkook, RM, and the HYB protocol shift. BTS members have always drawn different levels of attention, depending on their activities. Jungkook, for instance, experienced a massive surge of personal attention during his solo promotions and world tours last year. HYB's security around him tightened especially after a series of unauthorized fan approaches, including one at a restaurant in Tokyo that went viral. RM, meanwhile, has often balanced public accessibility with intellectual presence, visiting museums, attending public events, and interacting freely with the public. However, even RM had his moments of heightened protection after a private address leak incident in early 2024. Compared to those incidents, Jimin's security surge appears to be preemptive rather than reactive. It's less about an immediate event and more about a precaution built from accumulated lessons. HYBE learned from the Jungkook situation. One Korean entertainment analyst told the Korea Herald, "They know how quickly exposure can turn into vulnerability. Jimin's sudden protection level is part of a larger safety reform. But the timing, right before the winter season and a rumored comeback, makes it look even more suspicious." Fan behavior and the fine line between love and obsession for years. Jimin has maintained one of the strongest emotional bonds with ARMY. His messages on Weverse often feel personal, his tone genuine, his smiles disarming. But that very warmth sometimes draws the wrong kind of attention. Several security experts privately acknowledge that parasocial intensity, where fans blur emotional admiration with entitlement, remains one of the biggest challenges for K-pop stars. It's not unusual for fans to track idols' routes, follow staff accounts, or even stake out cafes known to be frequented by artists. Jimin, being particularly gentle and kind-hearted, has often faced moments of boundary overstep. A few years ago, a fan posted his flight details publicly before departure, a seemingly innocent act that led to crowd chaos at the airport. Since then, HYBE's protocols have grown increasingly strict. However, the current situation feels different. It's not just a generic protective measure, it's an infrastructure shift. The new security design, layers, surveillance, and confidentiality. One entertainment coordinator who previously worked on BTS-related logistics described the new system as multi-layered. There's surveillance ahead of routes, anonymous advanced vehicles, communication blockers in private zones, things you would normally see with government figures, she explained. It's not over-the-top paranoia. It's just the new standard for artists of Jimin's level. Interestingly, insiders suggest that HYBE recently partnered with a private security intelligence firm from Singapore specializing in event security analytics. While unconfirmed officially, a pattern of updated coordination protocols hints that the company's influence may already be in effect. Fans also noticed a new set of unfamiliar faces around Jimin's team, particularly foreign professionals who appeared fluent in both Korean and English. That aligns with HYBE's expanding international security approach, especially for artists with global engagements. The human element for all the speculation about corporate decisions and policy shifts, there remains one undeniable truth. Jimin is still human. His life, like that of any other global celebrity, has become a delicate dance between public visibility and personal safety. Friends close to him have occasionally shared anecdotes that reveal the emotional weight he carries. During one off-record conversation earlier this year, a close collaborator mentioned that Jimin has grown more thoughtful and quiet in his offstage life. He reads, he paints sometimes, the source said. He loves people deeply, but he's also more careful now. You can sense that he values peace more than anything. That peace, however, often requires protection.
Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling